Well, lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit about contract negotiations. Last month we talked to Kelly Fogarty, an attorney. She talked about, from a buyer's perspective, what they're looking to see in a contract, protections they're seeking, et cetera. What should sellers keep in mind for contract negotiations? What are some of the hot buttons for sellers right now? Thad?
As always, sellers are looking for a qualified buyer, a buyer that they can know when there is a closing. And also sellers are looking for shorter closing dates, believe it or not. Many sellers have already decided on where they're going and they're ready to move. So buyers are strong that are coming in that are pre-qualified, and many have no financing conditions and with a fast closing date. They're picking that buyer over buyers that have other contingencies. Home sale contingencies are not desirable. When you have a home sale contingency in your offer, you're going to have to pay a lot more for a seller to consider it these days.
Well, I generally agree with that, but I think we also have to recognize that every market is different. And, where sellers have the upper hand, certainly buyers need to come in with a very strong offer with minimal contingencies in order to be able to get that home. But we are also seeing with COVID-19, and in my experience, the last 2.5 months, we have actually seen buyers come into a contract with additional disclosures articulating specifically if any of the parties were to get sick with COVID-19, that it may adjust the time frame for closing. It may also give a buyer an opportunity to actually get out of the contract. But the most important thing we also have to recognize is there's also been a shift with some people in their job, their employment. They would go into a contract, and then all of a sudden a seller is finding that a buyer has to pull the deal because they lost their job. And we saw a wave of that. I feel like that's slowing right now, but I think sellers need to be cautious of the fact that, our market, the job market is still, really unknown.
Sure. So even though your home is under contract, you never really stop marketing until it's closed.
I agree 100%. Until you are at the closing table and buyer and seller are ready to exchange keys, you always want to be prepared that something could happen, and you always continue to market. And Natasha knows that better than any of us.
Yes, definitely. I would encourage, to keep marketing, keep running, social media ads, digital ads, print ads, just keep the buzz and exposure out there just in case.